Spirituality is practical. As our behavior is more consistently aligned with our beliefs, we come to see a new sense of who we are. Even though we have a disease that requires us to be vigilant about our thinking, we can see both good and bad about ourselves. When we take inventory and practice paying attention to our actions and our motives, we sometimes feel like we are defined by our character defects. The most unpleasant things about ourselves are the things that can seem to be the most true. But even though we may see some painful things about ourselves, we know that's not the whole truth about who we are. We learn that our spirit is not apart from us, it is a part of us. We gain awareness of the exact nature of what is right about us. Our fractured personalities come back together into an integrated whole. Integrity is the state of being fully integrated. Our actions, our thinking, our feelings, our ideals, and our values all match up. It takes a long time for a lot of us to get here, and longer still for us to feel like it's real. More and more, we are able to bring our behavior into alignment with our values and beliefs, rather than our feelings and reactions. When we allow spirituality to be simple, we allow it to be universal. Whatever we believe our higher power to be, or even if we don't have one at all, we each have a spirit, the light on the inside that animates us and makes us who we are. My spirit was the only thing alive in me, said a member. It was dragging my body around like a reluctant pet. Those times I thought my spirit was dead, it was fine. We just weren't on speaking terms. Newcomers sometimes ask when their spiritual awakening is going to occur. By the time we ask, it has already started to happen. We may not be able to pinpoint a single moment of spiritual awakening, but we know we are awake now. As we clear away the clutter that keeps us from the truth, we find that our light shines more and more brightly. It's the beauty we see in the eyes of someone who's really got it. A newcomer on that pink cloud, or an old-timer whose radiance seems to fill the room. We feel it in a meeting as well. Many of us have walked into a building where several events were happening and noticed that the room with the NA meeting in it felt like home. In the same way, we learn that finding God's will is often just a matter of showing up. When we show up for life with willingness and an open mind, the next right thing tends to present itself. We don't have to look that hard to find it. A sponsor suggested, introduce your feet to the floor when you wake up in the morning. Show up to the shower to wash. Show up to your appointments and respect your commitments. When you hit a wall, turn left and find an opening. We learn to listen to our conscience, that still small voice within that tells us if we're heading in the right direction. The opening is often where we least expect it, leading us to a path, an opportunity, or a miracle we weren't looking for at all. There is more to creative action than just getting out of the way. Once we start to live, we have infinite choices on where to go with our lives. It begins with showing up for life, but it doesn't end there. Another member shared, I invite my higher power into each moment. Asking for help with my daily routines helps me to love them more. I believe God's will for me is to live in gratitude, even for the little stuff. The ability to accept life on life's terms is an essential part of our spiritual awakening. We can either accept it or stay miserable. Living spiritually is about recognizing that there is room to grow. A member shared, it's not a big eureka moment, it's this calm understanding that I am not doing the negative stuff I used to do. I feel myself in alignment with my world. We begin to experience awareness and empathy with others. Our confidence and strength are restored. We see ourselves as part of something greater and seek to live in harmony with it. None of this means that we automatically get what we wish for. Our relationship to a power of our understanding is too important to think it can only thrive in good weather. Life gives and takes, and it's not personal. The recognition of our awakening spirit includes being okay with life unfolding exactly as it does. But many of us have moments when we are not okay with what is happening around us. We are in pain, we are frightened, and often we are angry. Sometimes we get confused and think that to live spiritually means that we are happy and get what we want, and that if we're not happy or don't get our way, something is out of balance. It would be nice if that were true, but recovery is not a fairy tale. When we experience loss or disappointment, when we find ourselves faced with news we don't want to hear, or situations we'd give anything not to experience, it doesn't mean our spirituality isn't working. In fact, it is at times like these that we can see it most powerfully. Our response to events and our sense of our role in them becomes more proportional and appropriate. We can respond to events without having to under or overreact. We can live in the present moment.